All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to, well, not welcome back. This is the first time we're doing this. Usually, if you follow my channel, I do a thing called Let's Talk About Transformers. And basically, it's where I take questions, from me or from anybody else. But a lot of my questions come from this wonderful, wonderful man that I've been friends with quite a few years now. And yeah, if y'all don't know him, he's on Figure Action Podcast. Y'all need to go check that out. I'm going to put the link in the description and everything. I have Mr. Extrazero with me today, man. How are you doing? And thank you for
Hey there, everybody. I got to take one from your house. I'm doing fantastic. It's been a fun day, a little bit of a long weekend. My girlfriend's birthday was on Friday, so we did a bit of celebrating.
Hey, happy birthday.
Well, thank you. I'm sure she'll appreciate the,
Yeah, she
the
knows
shout
me.
out.
She knows me.
So yeah, she does. She's a subscriber. She actually is.
Oh, really? She don't watch
Yeah,
my stuff. Come on now.
she does every now and then.
But
She watches.
she did give a thumbs up for my toilet selfie. So,
Yeah,
she's number one
she
in my
she
book.
did.
Oh, man.
And then I started doing some of them on Snapchat, like every
Nice.
now and then. In fact, I had one. I gotta read it because she actually they have like a one of those little boards at work you put all the letters on,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and I sent her one and I captioned it, and she liked the caption enough to put it on the thing. It was like a slow Friday.
Oh, no. Yeah, must have been
Um,
slow, isn't it? She really paid attention to
and
that then.
it was God, where was it? I'm going through here because I
Well,
have
what are
like
you
all
trying to
these.
find? Let me tell everybody what this basically is. This is a new segment I'm trying. It's not really new, but it's kind of new that we're doing it live. Like I said, I answer questions, and I give, people's responses, and all that stuff. And I like to hear feedback from people. So, and I have, Mr. Extra Zero on because he helps me a lot and he supports me in a whole lot. And I really appreciate that. So basically, he sent me a question and then I was like, man, I need a new segment. So I reached out to him again and said, hey, instead of me doing, just reading it off and, and filming it, well, I want to do it live. He's like, okay, good, let's do that. And so I'm going to try to do this. He's going to be on, a little time. I got T-Man 978. Sorry, I said 987. I always get that wrong. 978.
T-Man 8675309.
Yeah, 8675. Yeah, exactly. I'll have him on, hopefully, and and I'll get anybody else. If anybody wants to come on and do it live, if you have a question for me, and we'll just spend a little time, not a whole long time, but if we get into it and a great discussion, then by all means, it'll be longer. So yeah, this is something called Let's Talk About Transformers Live. So you want to read your question, and we'll.
Yeah. So my question is, how important is articulation to you, right? Because we grew up with G1. I got in on the tail end of it, and you got G1 like back when there was still the big novelty of it's a 2-in-1 toy. You get a robot and a vehicle, or a dinosaur or something, but it was two toys in one. So. When I was a kid, I kind of, like I said, I got in the tail end of G1. So what was available, because toys back then stayed on the shelf a bit longer. So I got figures like Shockwave, and kids in the schoolyard had Jetfire, but we also had the brick ones. And when G2 came out, you had the original figures, and articulation was all over the place. Now, I always liked figures that had a little bit more articulation because they had that action figure element, and that was something that I always really, really appreciated. That doesn't mean that there were figures that were bricks. I absolutely love Six Shot, and that figure, while he turns into a bunch of stuff, he's a brick.
Yeah.
But when G2 came out and you got those unique figures, you got your Laser Rod Optimus, and you got stuff like some of the jets and the what were the, I guess they were the motorcycles, not the motorcycles, but there are a few that came out that had ball joints. Then you get into Beast Wars, and Beast Wars is all ball joints, and they're posable, and that action figure element's there. And what an awesome time getting the car robots in the skies, and that action figure element's just all over the place. Then you get to Armada. When Armada hit, I kind of started to lose interest. And you got an awesome looking figure like Armada Prime, but he can't move his legs. Or you get, the Super Prime. Yeah.
So they were kind of less articulated, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you go from Super Fire Convoy, right, to Armada Prime. There's no comparison.
And I'm sorry to say something. I think they were banking on the mini-con element.
Yeah, the gimmicks.
The gimmick kind. Instead of the articulation, they went for the gimmick stuff on that.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny to see with like Cyberverse now. You've got Siege and you've got Cyberverse, and Cyberverse is more geared for kids.
Really different, yeah.
Yeah, and you've got figures like Starscream. Both of his legs are pinned together, and he's got no knees, and the backside's hollow, and it's the return of the gimmick. But it's kind of funny with Beast Wars, and I get that it's a different time and costs were different, and I'd say that with air quotes because there's some stuff that I just don't really believe.
Yeah.
That's another discussion, right?
Uh-huh.
But you used to have the best of both worlds. You have gimmick and posability.
Yep.
And then it kind of got into one or the other, kind of around the time of Armand. Now with Cybertron and Energon, that was a little different because Energon was more of a return to form, and Cybertron was a definite return to form.
Mm-hmm.
But it really made me realize how important articulation was. Now, I brought out a bunch of figures because obviously I love Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
And I recently, I've had this guy several times in my life. This is a new minty one from my boy Nathan Simmons.
That's good guy.
Great dude. And everybody go check out his channel too, because he's got some good stuff he's putting out. He's got some cool toy hunts but there's something cool about the simplicity of this guy. But same token, when you get into Masterpiece Optimus, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a great figure. But what's interesting is, while this figure is vastly more articulated than the original, you get into something like this dude and Sunstreaker, and we've now got ab crunch. We got butterfly joints. We got double jointed elbows. We got, wrist pivot, and we've got, these dynamic hands, ball joint neck, and, up to this big mamma jamma here, with the ratcheted ab crunch, and he's got 2 neck joints, and the articulated fingers and thumb, and it's interesting how you can have some articulation that's good, and now it's almost like you have these hyper articulated figures, and they almost make what should be the bare minimum standard seem antiquated. So that's my long form question. We've got different types of articulation. How make or break is it on a figure for you these days?
And to respond to that, and I think Siege is doing both that with the gimmick, because they got the the weapons, and they got better articulation. They are a little smaller, and a lot of people are I don't see a lot of people, but a lot of people are mention that they're smaller than like the classic stuff, and that's fine. I don't care. Like I said, articulation is if you are the type of collector that likes to play through Transformers, articulation is really, I think, important. And Collector 75, thank y'all very much for joining us. He said, I'm pretty certain even little kids will love articulation. Shame Hasbro doesn't feel the same. I think Hasbro's moving towards that, though. Like I said, with the Siege line.
With Siege, but I think they need to do more to market it to kids, right? So, like when Beast Wars came out, I was still a kid. 96, I was 11 years old. So, I was getting closer to a teenager.
Yeah.
But that action figure element, made me fall in love with Transformers all over again.
Yeah. Well, with the G1, back then you had to use your imagination. You basically, the cartoon was a commercial, a 30-minute commercial or 20-minute commercial, whatever. And you would get the toys and you would just reenact those scenes you saw in the thing. And it had no, some of them, most of the G1 stuff were not articulated at all. I mean, it was hard. It was a brick and everything. So you had to use your imagination. Now, I think, and like you said, you mentioned Cyberverse, they're going back to that, element of, going back to kids and everything. But then, like you just said, why are they not doing that Siege? Why are they not promoting this Siege line, which is articulated and has a gimmick that's really pretty cool? It's not the best, but I think it's awesome. It does look goofy on some of them, but geared towards kids on that, because mostly this is gearing towards the adult collector because that's G1 stuff, I think.
Yeah, I really think that the whole DIY armor and things like Battle Masters, I think there should be more Battle Masters, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool, and so far, like all the weaponizers, I don't think that they look out of place. I love those effects pieces. I saw somebody.
I wish somebody would sell.
They are. I'll send you a link to it.
Is that the one, the third party? I saw that on Facebook where they're sending different color ones.
Yeah, like I want to say for $11, it's 5 or 6 pieces.
Oh, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yes, Hasbro should be doing that anyways, man. To have those effects, man, that is so cool. If you want the battle scene kind of action piece going on, man, I think Hasbro. But that's cool. Yeah, send me a link. I would love to buy some. Yeah. Really cool.
But it's interesting. Like third party, I think really was the renaissance for articulation, and you get into stuff like make toys, and
Oh yeah, cross dimensions.
yeah,
Yeah.
you got cross dimensions, and going into even MMC, like early MMC versus MMC now. Like this is my G, no, not G2, Machine Wars Prime,
Yeah.
but we got wrists on ball joints. We got, opening, closing hands,
Yeah.
Multiple head joints here, and or multiple neck joints. Shoulders can kind of do anything and everything.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool to see that renaissance. And you go into like unique toys, and this is one of my favorites.
Nice.
I know my boy T-Man doesn't really like the ankles on him, but here you have a figure that's impossibly engineered, and you got ab crunch. You got the head can look up, look in all kinds of directions, look down. You got your butterfly joints. You got a wrist pivot.
Love a good butterfly joint.
Me too. And that stuff, butterfly joints and ab crunch, those weren't standard on action figures until a few years ago. And it was really T-Man. Like T-Man is he is a self-described articulation junkie, and he turned me on to that. Like he turned me on to like every figure should have ab crunch. And at first I was like, I don't know. I don't necessarily need it. And then when you start messing around figures and you start getting a dynamic display, that's when you realize how awesome it is. That's when you realize how awesome butterfly joints are. And, at first you're like, well, I could see like Wolverine or the X-Men or Spider-Man needing that. But then like when you get like a figure like Megatron, right? We'll go back to Megatron, and he's, I got him set up with the battle damage right now. I got two MP36s.
Oh, look at you, money bag.
Hey, you're the guy with what, 3 constructors?
Oh, come on. I only got 2. That's all right.
Okay, you got a clear constructor. But you get him hunched over, and you get him, pointing the gun. I got to get like another hot rod. I've been hoping somebody be selling MP28 cheap.
Somebody will. Well, let me ask you this question. So, would you rather them, suffer, and not suffer? I want take away from the sculpt to give it like, just mention Bumblebee, the new Bumblebee.
Yeah. So you took the words out of my mouth, and
yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think I would, and there's one reason why, and it's because when you get something like this in hand, it looks immensely better in hand than it does in photographs. And if it looks good in hand, it looks good on display.
Yeah.
And I would rather have pieces that were dynamic than static.
Right. But not all people are like that. Some people like a good sculpt, like, Fans Toys. Fans Toys is dead spot on usually on their sculpts and everything. Not really fun to transform most of the time, especially lately. But, if you want something that looks really good on a shelf in the sculpt-wise and the paint, it shines. Fans Toys is known for that, and everything. So, but you got all these Fans Toys followers, which that's fine, and and I love Fans Toys, but I want to give other companies like Extrazero, let's mention them.
Yeah.
They are stepping up their game. They really, their sculpture is still looking really good, but the articulation, the engineering is really fun. The new Stunticons, I'm so excited to finish those.
Yeah.
So it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah. You know what I like about those Stunticons too is that like I think about how good they're going to look as a team, and like so far the 2 I have, and it looks like their drag strip and
Dead End are both
Dead End.
this month.
Yeah, Hanny says they're both going to be coming at the end of the month, so I'm looking forward to that. And they look like they're all going to be just as dynamically articulated. Now, a lot of people are hating on their Motormaster, and first of all, their Motormaster wasn't painted, and I think they were just showing off the articulation and the die-cast content. But, I kind of, as a team, and I think that's something that people miss out on, like when you have like the Stunticons and you have like the Combaticons and all, they have to be able to look good as a team. Like I love Zeta, and I love the Toy World combiners, but the individual bots just they kind of they're not very good.
Oh, the Combaticons are.
Yeah.
Now their almos are good. I like their almos. It's just their bot modes suffer. And Superion, I think, got a little better with their bot modes, but they still got a lot of stuff. But that's understandable. Where are you going to put it? You got a lot of spare stuff, that's, just going to be hanging off. So I understand why it's like it is, so.
But with the X-Transbot stuff so far, and I say so far because, I'm not going to judge the Motor Master until I have it, but I feel like with all of them, they're fun to transform. They look good as cars. They look good as robots. And I'm like, well, how do I want them? And to me, that I think is one of the best problems to have. Is you figure, like,
options. Yes.
Yeah, options, man. Like this dude here, he looks great as a truck. He looks great as a robot. He looks great as Nemesis Prime. It's like,
how do I display it? And to be fair, Extrazero, this is, a lot of people are critical with Fans Toys, and this is their first, combiner. This is Extrazero's first combiner too, so we don't know how it's going to be. But so far, with the two they put out, they're really good, and they could stand out as individual modes if you don't like the combined modes.
Right. I think if you want to count KFC, they did the Victory Leo, and it was technically a combiner, if you want to call it that. But everything that they did with that Victory Leo, it went to a first party figure. It went to Star Saber. So I kind of had a little bit of faith in Extrazero to do it, or Keith to do it, because of how well he did with the combiners there.
Yeah.
And so far, I know some people have had some QC issues with their Extrazero limbs so far. Yeah, I mean, well, the broken tabs on
Wild
Rider.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
To be fair, they fixed it on the G2 version, and they had that whole amendum sort of thing. But even still, mine have been okay.
Mine have too.
They're easily the most solid, outside of Toro. They're the most solid offerings that they have so far.
Yeah, I agree, and everything. So, and like what we were just saying, was, something is going to suffer. Like, like I said with the Bumblebee, as far as, it's going to be articulated. You can already see you got the butterfly and everything, but the sculpt, it looks kind of suspect in some way too. Like he's got flat tire for feet, and it just, it's kind of a mess in the background. So it depends how you want to do that. How you want to see your collection go to work.
Yeah. Was the original Bumblebee that great though? Because let's face it, the original Bumblebee had the big gaps in his forearms.
Yeah.
And the backpack from the side was kind of like wonky looking. He didn't have wrist articulation. He's a good figure, but especially when you get to something that size, right? The New Age B does look good and everything, but it doesn't have the articulation that the in fact, I got New Age B right in front of me.
That's great. I'm loving New Age. I've got a couple New Age stuff, and it's a shame. And I said that in my review that a lot of people are not going to buy this stuff because of the scale and everything. But man, they put out some good stuff. It's really good. The transformation is so much fun, and it's a little masterpiece, and it's a small little that's all it is. It's really good. Sunday Heat, yeah, okay, I got you. I was like, what are you talking about? Who's been a long time? Sunday, I need to get you one around 30. Hit me up sometime, man. And today I got another round 32 today. So if anybody wants to join in, I'm going to do it about 5:30 p.m. Central Time. So 6:30 on the East Coast if you want to join. But anyways, yeah, I love Flipper. Flipper he was my number one Legends last year. The transformation is so much fun, and it's a nice deck spot. That's what it is.
Great little toy filled with, if you blew this up to about that big, you'd start to notice the gaps there.
Yeah, that's true.
And
So are you a big Legends collector like I am, or do you have to get everything in certain pieces?
No, I've been trying to tighten up the collection, to be honest with you. Okay. Since I got this room and all, I still need to. I'm working on filling up my Detolfs over here.
Oh, look at you! You got Bowser in one.
I know that's where my video game stuff's gonna go in. I just tossed them in there just because.
Yeah.
And the Star Wars helmets aren't gonna stay up there. They're gonna go on a bookcase over here. This side of the room is an absolute mess.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Trying to get everything.
I understand.
Everything
So with the Legend, the sculpts still look good and they're really articulated.
Yeah.
So it can be done, but it's in a smaller scale. And just like you said, if you would blow it up a little, 5 more inches, you would start noticing some gaps
Right.
and everything. So I mean, where do we go from? What is next? Let's talk about that. As far as articulation from transformers, like I said, Siege is blowing it out of the out of the water. It's really articulated. They have a nice gimmick. You get more paint. Where do you think the main line? What could be next to go to still catch people's interest? To
I
keep people.
think I think what we're going to see is we're going to see some Soul Chigokin level stuff. I think we're going to
Okay.
see some option pieces on Transformers to kind of, go in between, right? So one of my favorite SOC pieces is Gal Gai Gar, and
Okay.
it and a few other SOC pieces. My buddy TJ Duck would probably be able to cite off some more examples of
Okay.
figures that have this, right? Where it has perfect transformation pieces, and then it has pieces that pop off and give it the complete cartoon look or the complete anime look. And I
Mhm.
think that they're going to want to draw that line between what Flames Toys is offering and what
That's a
Masterpiece is
good point. I was
offering.
going to ask you. Yeah.
And I
So
think
I'm sorry. Go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
well, I was just gonna say, I think that they're going to be option pieces on figures that allow for a perfect transformation, or you can pop it off and have a piece you can't transform it with,
Hmm.
but it looks better. Actually, my Dragon Zord is like that. It has dynamic hands that you can pop off, and then it has flat hands that work for the
Yeah.
transformation. So,
Well, let me ask you this:
mhm.
do you think it's possible that the main line or whatever, could do something like Flames Toys is doing and
Oh,
sell well?
absolutely. I absolutely think it can. I mean,
But it had to be. But see, the thing is, they're expensive. They're expensive pieces. Do you think they could be at a retail level and still be that good though?
when you say retail, are you talking like off the shelf figures?
Yes, off the shelf there. Do you
I
think that they'll get it?
I think I don't think that they can do it like from like a toy aisle, right?
Hmm.
But when we get into a piece like this,
Yeah.
I personally I think it's on par. I think it's on par, man. I
That's
think
for Flames Toys. You think that's
yeah.
on par for Flames?
I think this is on par too. I think Dinobot and I think Sunstreaker are on par. I mean that's just one man's opinion.
Yeah.
But and Eligos or not Eligos, Quietus, the
Oh, it goes.
Cyclonus.
Yeah,
I
that
think
quite is beautiful. It's a
yeah.
beautiful piece. Yeah.
I think it's on par. I think it can be done. I know it can be done.
But like I said, I just don't know. I have the Flames Toys, the Tarn and the
Mm-hmm.
Drift. I don't know if they could, suffer the, amount cost, to go down to a retail level. I don't think that that could be possible and be that good. They could do it, and it would just, it would
I think
cost less and everything. And
it depends on the design and it depends on the ambition, right?
uh-huh.
Because like this guy is highly ambitious. I mean, have you ever seen his truck mode?
Yeah, yeah,
It's almost seamless. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
I need to
And
get it. I don't have it, but yeah, we'll see.
like I like Dinobot. I think Dinobot's robot mode is a success.
Hmm.
But I think this Megatron is a success in both modes, and a lot of it just has to do with how ambitious this that whole backpack is.
Yeah. So,
You
what do
know,
you think? Do you think that okay? And I'll go back to going back on retail. But would it interest kids? I mean, I know it would interest adults. Do you think that having a transform that doesn't transform for a kid would be fun though?
Action Masters was a big failure, and I
Hmm.
think it's only going to be fun if there's some reason or some narrative or they're highly articulated, highly durable. I think the best way to do it would be to have the fiction and then have a set of figures that's like Black Series or like Marvel Legends, and they're
Yeah.
high on accessories, and they're not transformable, but they come with all that thing from that one episode in the box.
Yeah.
And
Hmm. I
I think
don't know if it's
also
possible, man. I
I
don't
think
know.
also if they do like a 6-inch scale across the board,
Yeah.
that would be good. But Transformers, the gimmick's right in the name, and I think like with Siege, like to go full circle. I mean, you're getting figures. You're not going to get anything Flames Toys quality, but you're going to get stuff that's highly articulated and
Yeah.
looks good in both modes, and it's durable and it's fun to transform. I mean, the only gripes I have with Siege so far is some of the figures should be pinned and they're not. Like
Yeah. Yeah. The
Starscream and
Starscream,
Ironhide
Ironhide.
or
Yep.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you want to go into something else is this dude here, this Bumblebee
I
movie.
gotta open it up, man. He looks really good.
Oh man, like this figure is absolutely beautiful. I can't believe he's $30. Like I really can't.
Yeah.
He's made out of great plastic. He's got a fun transformation. He's great to pose. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what Movie Prime should have been from the get-go.
Oh yeah.
And you know, as far as stuff for kids, if they kept up with this, and you know, the fiction was there, there's something to keep them interested. If there's something to say, man, I really like these stories. I want representations of these characters on my shelf. I want, you know, to take these guys to school. I want to take these guys with me everywhere.
Oh yeah. School show and tell. Come on.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, it's like, you know, it's like right now kids like Fortnite stuff. I see, you know, every time I go into Walmart or Target,
Yeah.
I see kids clamoring for the Fortnite stuff. They want the characters that they're attached to in the game. And that's the thing, is they're saying kids aren't interested in toys anymore. I don't think that that's necessarily it. I think it's that kids don't really have anything that sells them on characters so much. I saw some kids the other day, you know, talking about whether they wanted Captain Marvel or Black Panther, and they were in the aisle and they're having like a, you know, you can only get one.
Yeah, that's still cool though. And I want to say, everybody, thank you for coming in. Basically, this is something, you know, I always do. Let's talk about Transformers, and I should put that in the headline or anything. But you know, Extrazero helps me a lot with my questions and everything. So I just thought it'd be cool to do a new segment where, you know, we're live and doing everything. So basically, we're talking about articulation. You know, is it, you know, do you look for articulation? You know, like the way I collect, you know, I have a lot of stuff. You know, so I really can't put my, you know, Transformers in poses like, you know, a lot of some people like, you know, just collect masterpiece and everything. So sometimes, you know, I would love to, it's not possible because I have so much stuff and everything.
Yeah.
So if, you know, do you think, and I'm asking y'all out in the, you know, watching, would you rather have a perfect sculpt Transformer like Fans Toys, or would you like something articulated like, you know, the Make Toys, the cross dimension, the cross dimension line? You know, it looks still good, but you know, it's more articulated, but it didn't, you know, the sculpt isn't, you know, as good as, you know, what Fans Toys does. That's what I'm asking, you know, what we're talking about now and everything. So everything. So if anybody got any questions, you know, that we want to ask, you know, we'll definitely try to answer those and everything. And I don't know what else to ask.
I mean, I got one more for you, Matt.
Okay.
And you know, just back to what you said, you got so many figures, you can't really get them into dynamic poses. Like for me right now, I've got a lot of real estate, and I'm you know, I've got, as you can see, I'm working on everything, but you know, I've got my Jetfire.
Really good, too, man. Really good.
Thank you. I'm trying to get these all in some sort of pose because I haven't even filled out all my real estate yet, but you know, I've got the real estate. So the question for me is, would you rather have your stuff just as many Transformers as you can have, or would you rather have, you know, like I look at the collection I think I admire the most is Mako Aspire. Like that dude's collection, the way he has everything staged is insane. He's got dynamic poses, he's got the dioramas, and if I had to pick between what I have now and what he has, I think I would go that. I think he has probably more display space than I do, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think I would rather go that route. I think I'd rather sacrifice quantity for just that museum quality display.
Yeah, I think, and that's a good. Yeah, I think I would too, because I mean, I love everything I have, but I don't get to enjoy everything. Like I don't, you know, stuff I have on my top shelf, very top. I haven't touched that for probably a couple of years, you know, and it's just sitting there. You know, I would love to have, like you said, a museum type of, quality kind of collection where, you know, you walk in and like, you know, you can admire a piece instead of.
I just copied Nerd Out. That's what I did.
So basically, you're just seeing, you know, when you walk in my room, you see, you know, you're still like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. But I think when you walk into someone you just mentioned and everything, that you just see like a piece that you remember as a kid or something like that. So, you know, you know, I don't know. It's kind of like I love my collection, but I wish I could go another way. I wish I went another way instead of getting everything. Maybe just collect, you know, like you said, like masterpiece and third party, and go that way. And you can, you know, pose them and have, you know, in dynamic pose and everything, still have room instead of knocking over 15 other Transformers and stuff like I do.
Yeah, and that's something I had to do recently. Like I had to sacrifice a lot. And you know, I'm working on getting out of like some of the older Chug stuff. And yeah, I'm doing Siege, but I'm doing that just because it's the new IDW, and I'm trying to collect it. You know, I don't know if IDW is even still going to be around, so that might
Yeah, that's true. I like I said, I just love Transformers, and I grab, mostly. I'm kind of more a little selective than I used to be because I don't, first of all, I can't afford it. Second of all, I can't, I just don't have the display room to get everything. I love Siege and everything, and it's really good.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get everything as possible there, but I sacrifice getting some things. Like I haven't got, Fans Hobbies Double Dealer yet. Haven't got that yet. So, and then that's with cost. That's my
Yeah.
fault. You have to plan ahead. For big stuff like big payments like that or big purchases.
Sometimes it's unpredictable too.
Yeah, that's true. So, it would, like I've always said, especially with the new studio series, I would sell all my movie stuff and
Hmm.
just keep my studio series. And I might do that, and I think I'm kind of hesitant, because I don't want to sell anything most of the time. But I think I could get rid of all my movie stuff and just be fine with studio series because they're really nice, they're really posable. Got more paint on them now, just like the Steve stuff. So I think they could represent my movie line, and I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people that like them better than the movie Masterpiece because it's I think with movie Masterpiece I just I have the Prime and I have the Lockdown, but I think I really just want to keep it to the first movie, to be honest with you, and then just do studio series just because I think the studio series are a lot of fun. They display very well.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of that has to come to the articulation. I think that the articulation
yeah.
helps. When you have that, it's like that. There's in cooking, there's the trifecta. You got your celery, carrots, and onions, right? That's
Mhm.
what they call the trifecta. You kind of have that with a figure. You have your articulation, you have your paint, and you have your quality of material. So when you
Yeah.
have those
Mhm.
three things, and that's why I think studio series is good quality materials, good paint, good articulation, and they look good on the shelf. Whereas some of those older toys from the movie line, they look like kids' toys.
They're trash, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, and that's another good point is I maybe I just want the to represent what's in the movies. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the movie stuff are just characters that they just did repaints, and just stuff that I don't need. So
Yeah.
I may be on the lookout if anybody wants some old movie stuff. I know I'm saying it's trash, but it's still good.
There's
I may put
there's a
up
lot
some
of
stuff
people like it.
myself. Yeah. So and just go with the studio series. Just get them, the characters that they are making, which they're doing probably every, all the mainline characters in there. So I may try to just sell some of my movie stuff, and I know I'm
Yeah.
gonna take a loss, but I don't care. I just don't need it, and else, it will free up some room too. So for other, third
Yeah.
party or masterpiece stuff.
Well, I mean, they've got a lot of stuff they can do. I mean, for Christ's sakes, they already did two versions of Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. They battle
Oh yeah,
damaged and
Prime. They've done Prime
they
already
did Prime
twice,
twice,
and
and then
so
they
I
can.
think they're gonna do the whole. I wouldn't mind seeing, a Ravage or something or a
Oh,
Fall.
they're gonna do
Yeah,
Ravage. They've already did Scorponok. I'm sure they'll do Soundwave and Ravage.
yeah. Well, they did yeah, they'll do. I hope they do the car one, and I'm sure they'll do the satellite one too. So
Yeah.
there's loads of stuff, characters they could do and everything. But like I said, the movie stuff I have, some of that stuff's not wasn't even in the movie. I don't, and that was at a time where I was getting everything. I was buying everything. I didn't care what it was. If it said Transformers, man, I was buying shampoo. I was buying bubble bath. I was buying Easter stuff. Hell, I still have a tote full of just happy birthday stuff and everything. I don't know why. I just bought it because I had the point where I
I
wanted it.
think it was because there was just a long period of time where Transformers wasn't mainstream like that, and then when the movie came out, it was everywhere.
Yeah, it was. It hit everybody. It was like, oh, look at this. You got stuff everywhere on the shelves and everything. I remember rows of just Bumblebee, just yellow cars, yellow Camaros, just and I was like, man, it's a good time to be alive, be a collector, but then, is this stuff really gonna move? And all that stuff.
Right.
Everything. Like you said, that with the movie stuff, the studio series and the seeds, they're really well articulated. A lot better than what the older
Oh
stuff
yeah.
was and everything. So.
Everything has ankle pivot.
Yeah,
Everything.
exactly, and that's good. So, well, I mean, I guess we've run this course, and everything.
The answer to the question is articulation is important.
Yes, it is.
And
I think it's important to a lot of people, not all. I'm not speaking for everybody. Some people just like a good sculpt, and just to set up on the shelf, and it looks fine. But some people like to play with their Transformers and they like to articulate them. And for me, also, as you know, I love taking photographs. I love a good articulation, you know, because if you just took pictures of them just standing straight up, you know, all this time and didn't do anything, that'd be kind of boring too. So, you know,
Yeah.
understand that. So, thank y'all very much for coming in. I had a lot of people in, man. I had like 20 people watching.
Nice.
People like me. Yay. Yeah, something like that. No, hey, maybe just you. That's the reason why.
I hope people like me.
But dude, I want to say thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully we'll do this. I'm gonna try to do this once a week. I'm gonna get T-Man on. He reached out and sent me a question, so I'm gonna try to get him on. You need to fix your audio, T-Man. Just put that out there. Just saying. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm going to try to do this once a week. You know, just basically let's talk about Transformers Live, and we'll have a discussion and all that good stuff. And once again, thank you so much for coming on and everything. I had a wonderful time.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed being on again.
Oh, you'll be back on. Don't worry. I'll get your little butt on here again. Tell everybody where you know, I guess where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on the Facebook groups as James Jordan. You can find me every Thursday night at 9:00 on my podcast Figure Action, and it's you know, we're also looking for guests. So anybody that, you know, out there who is in the Transformers scene, you know, who has a show, you know, hit me up if you'd like to be a guest on our show. We can scout you out, make arrangements, and you know, anybody in the industry. We like doing our industry insider episodes. We haven't had one in quite a minute.
Yeah, it's a fun time, dude. I suggest if anybody wants to have a good time for about 2 hours, give or take, y'all do about 2 hour show usually. Definitely get on their show. It's a fun time. They haven't asked me back on, but you know, I was on.
You have an open invitation. You're always welcome. You can just be like, I want to be on this Thursday. And we're like, all right.
Well,
you were one of the founders of our show, so it's like your invitation never goes away.
I am not no founder. Come on now.
Now you are. You are. Don't sell yourself short, Matt.
And Share Cuts Uncut, yeah, forget those guys. Anyway, like I said, thank y'all very much for joining in. I had a wonderful time. And like I said, if you have any questions and you want to come on, and I'm open, you know, I'll work around your schedule. Send me a little, you know, DM or something and everything. We'll get you on. And like I said, I'm gonna get T-Man on and T-Fan page. He wants to get on, so yeah, I'll be cool and everything. And I'm gonna do a round 30. With a nice little young reviewer. He will be on about 5:30 Central Time. So come on, watch that. It should be a good time. And I guess I will see y'all on the next Let's Talk About Transformers. And as always, Hail Hasbro, and good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.